Here's a clip from the Southwestern Lead app.
With expressives, you're going to have to be enthusiastic. If you're not an enthusiastic person, you will bore them to death and they will not work with you. Okay? So if you're an analytic and you're kind of quieter and your style is more reserved, but you know you're dealing with an expressive, guess what you're going to have to do? Turn it up a notch and be something that's not comfortable for you. Okay? So if you went to France, would it be good to know a little French? Yes. All of us speak different languages in terms of how we make contact and interact. Analytics, you have to deal with them precisely. Precision is good. Drivers, you need to deal with them speedily. What we tend to do is when something isn't working, we do more of our default mode. My default mode was, I need to do more of me. So I would just turn up the enthusiasm. You get the idea? So yeah, now here's where it gets really funky. If you look at the graph, and we're doing calculus now. The people in the top two quadrants are fast-paced. Are relationship-oriented. Their priority is people. The bottom two quadrants, the priority is tasks. So you can see also that pace on the right two quadrants, is that right for you? Yes, is fast. With drivers, you got to be fast. Expressives, you got to be fast. With the amiables and the analytics, you got to just back it down, slow it down a little bit, okay? So you've got priority issues and pace issues. And then the people that really drive you crazy, this was the big eureka moment for me, are the folks that were in cross quadrants. Like drivers drive amiables crazy because they're so task focused and like, let's go, follow me up the hill. And they're carrying the flag, come on. And the amiables are like, how does everybody feel about that? Are you okay? Should we go together? Come on, I knew a guy that worked with me who was a sales manager for a few years, whose wife was a driver, and he was an amiable. And when he looked at this, he goes, now I know why we don't like each other a lot sometimes. I'm like, there you go, Jack. So I charged him a fee for counseling. Now, expressives and analytics are opposites. See that? So analytics look at expressive people and think, crazy, goofy, excitable flakes. That's kind of what they think. And then expressives look at the analytics and go, slow, boring, gee whiz, why can't you blink your eyes? So, no, I'm just making that up. So, here's what I figured out, and here's how this was useful to me. I have a couple little stories. But I remember when I was recruiting at Kansas State, I was probably about 10 engineer types. And so I was running the info session, and I was, ready to put on my kind of entertaining show. Let's get people to laugh and to like me, and we'll have a great time. So I'm going along, and I'm just having them introduce, and I'm writing down their names, and I'm like, okay, and what do you study? And the first guy's like, electrical engineering. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Boy, that's challenging, engineering. I hear you do math. And he's like, yes. And I'm like, okay. Next guy. I'm like, what's your, and he's like, aeronautical engineering. I'm like, aeronautical. All right. I don't really know what that means, but that's cool. Next, accountant. I'm like, oh, you're in accounting. Yes. I'm like, all right. I wrote that down. I'm like, uh-oh. Next one was like civil engineering. Next one was like robotics. I'm not making this up. I'm like, robotic, okay. So he was like, yes, anyway, and I'm just like, so an entire group, and I'm thinking in my head, if you're kind of pegging who would be in what quadrant are we dealing with? The analytics, big time. So typically engineers, accountants, those are people that would gravitate to that area. So I'm thinking, my normal mode would be, I'm not getting my point across. I need to do more of this, gesture and and I knew from reading the book and everything, and I thought, okay, I'm going to do things completely contrary. This is some of this. I'm going to have pace problems with these people. I'm going to have priority problems. And they want precision. So I went to the dry erase board, picked up a marker, and I said, all right, gentlemen, it was all men. I'm going to give you all the facts, details, and data for which you can render a logical decision in the next 89 minutes. So if you would, take out your mechanical pencils and remove the tape from the center of your glasses, and let's begin. I made that part up. And so I went to the board, and I wanted to write things down, because when you put things down on the board, people go, and I was like, you may want to write this down. Because whatever you write down on the board, they write down. They're like, okay, this is important. So they're like, and off we went. And I put my arms to my side, and I turned down the volume, and I slowed down a little bit. And 9 out of 10 of those, I think, wanted to come work with us. Because I went to their style rather than me. Because when people like, you can write this down, likes like likes. Likes like likes. People like people who are like them. So if they feel like, from the beginning, I get this person, I'm tracking with them, they're like me, all is well. So that's a dramatic example of going to their style. What do we do? Let's go to this next one. There's positives and negatives from each style. Each of these, there's no good or bad about any quadrant. Each of these has their own strength and weakness. On the positive side of amiables, they're supportive people, they're reliable, they are team players. They're very pleasant. Downside, they're complying, they're retiring, and they're soft-hearted. Okay? They're soft-hearted. Every personality strength that God's given you, it's just like a sword. It's like, shing. Wow, look at that blade. It's really sharp. It also has another dark side. There's 2 sides to the blade. They're too soft-hearted. Okay? They'll be pushed. They'll let people walk over them. Sometimes they have a little sign on their chest that says, welcome, because they become a doormat. So, amiables, if you feel back here, if this little structure here, that's your spine. So you need to use it sometimes. All right. I'll make fun of the other styles, don't worry. Oh, that really hurt me. I know. Analytics. All right, analytics. You are diligent. This is positive. You are perseverant. You are systematic. Downside, picky, righteous, well, and stiff, unbending. Expressives, positive. They're invigorating, they're optimistic, they're animated. Downside, they're too excitable, they're impatient, and they can be persuasive to the point of manipulation. Whoa. Hello. Really tough. So anyway, keep that in mind. Expressives, you may have to tone it down just a little bit. All right, drivers are firm, comprehensive, they're productive, they get things done. Downside, they're uncompromising, they're overbearing, they're pressuring.
Yeah.
Southwestern Lead is an international leadership program that helps you build skills, gain confidence, and discover new opportunities. With professional coaching, a world-class digital learning platform, and certifications that will enhance your resume or application, Lead sets you apart. We'll show you how to turn success principles into success habits through small group training, one-on-one coaching, and guided action plans to help you apply what you're learning. It takes more than academics to reach your goals. See what one of America's oldest leadership training programs can do for you. Visit southwesternlead.com.
No, you have to write all this down. Just get the main idea. See? That's an expressive answer. Just get the idea. Move on. Analytics. Please leave it up. Okay. Now, when we're stressed, we react differently. Let me go through this rapidly. An amiable submits. They go, okay, hey, fine. Have it your way. Under stress, pressure. They'll submit. Now, they may come back and get you in another way, but for the moment, submit. Expressive, attack. Analytics will withdraw under pressure or stress. I remember we had a meeting at the company, And it was a heated discussion, and one of the women from accounting was just a total analytic, and she just was like, you could see her just fold up. She was like, please stop. And just she sort of went concave on herself. She went into her own event horizon. She collapsed on herself into a black hole. She disappeared. Couldn't even look at people. Wow. Drivers dictate. Under pressure, they just, okay, I'm taking charge. Let's go. Boof, boof, boof. So, you got to remember, under stress, we react differently. Now, we all drive, even this goes to the point of what kind of cars people drive. Expressives, bright colored sport cars. Hey, how do I look? Okay. Analytics, something very practical. A Volvo, because they've done all the crash stuff and the mileage check. Okay, MPG's good. All right, that's probably what they'll buy, something really practical. Amiables, what would they buy? Yeah, all right, I think more of a minivan. Who, come on in? No, it's seat 7. Come on in. We're all together. We're all together. Okay, yeah. And drivers, they own Hummers. That's just the deal. Just, oh, is that a curb? Or a tank, maybe a Sherman tank. And understand that you can be a mixture of these. You're not just pure amiable. Depending on where you plot those numbers, you could be an analytic expressive. Does that make sense? Mostly expressive with a little analytic in there. That's like Jamocha almond fudge. Okay, it's almond fudge, it's got a Jamocha little in there. Okay, so you can have some weird stuff like an amiable driver. You don't see that a lot. And if you break each of those quadrants into 4 quadrants, you can have like a driver, or an expressive driver. So this is a way to kind of flavor it a little bit. Understand that all these quadrants are good, but you've got to have all 4 in your organization to do well. So I want you to appreciate the differences. If you walked into a meeting that was all amiables, there wouldn't be a meeting, because people would just be like hugging for 30 minutes. How are you been? Oh, it's so good. How are your kids? Okay. So you got to have a driver in there just to say, hey, it's time to start. Okay? What if you walked into a group of expressives and they were all 100%? No, just telling jokes and like, yeah, oh, you got a new car, whatever. I like that orange jacket. Craziness. Nothing would get done, but people have a good time. Woo, what happened in the meeting? I don't know, who cares? It was great. What'd you do? Nothing. All right. Analytics, if you had a whole room of them and that's all you had, or in your organization, it would be very punctual and efficient, and people would be, dead asleep in the aisles, okay? But it would be on time. And drivers, because they're like, I don't know, my way, no, this is the way the company should operate. And, somebody else, no, this is the way we're going to do it. Anyway, appreciate the fact that all these quadrants are useful, they're different, and your goal, if I'm going to give you an assignment, this is my final slide for this seminar. So I want you to go out as you meet people later this afternoon, and I want you to peg, okay, high responsive, low responsive, okay, they seem this, and then assertive, higher, and just figure out what quadrant they're and ask them, because a lot of them know this material. So figure out, who am I dealing with, go to their style to relate to them, and you'll have much better success, because you're relating to them in a way they want to be related to. Make sense? Helpful? Yes. Okay, we're done.